If you are a team, you don't score cheap goals against each other because you will both lose. Can he trust you with his heart to say, okay, I'm feeling funny around somebody, and then you don't judge him and say, you started sleeping with the woman?
All right, so if you're on, you know how we do, you know how we started shows. I just went ahead and started having a chat. I would leave you very soon in the hands of my guest. She is one of my colleagues at the John Maxwell team. Amazing, 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 amazing family life mentor and coach. Um, she's and she's got results. If you're going to be on this thing, you better have results. She's got amazing results in assisting people and assisting families to find clarity and help them with building family systems that create bliss. So everybody, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Bridget for the next 20-30 minutes. She's going to do a teaching, and I'll be back for our Q&A session. Thank you again, Bridget. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Aaron. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for listening, okay? My name is Bridget Elesin, as you heard. And today I will just talk about how you can have a team-centered marriage and even a team-centered family. Because what I have found with people is, first with marriage, because we can't talk about having the family without the man and the woman involved. And so I am big on having a team-centered marriage relationship, because I found out over time that a lot of people are married but living single. So you're married quite all right, but then you're doing your thing, your husband is doing his own thing. And with that, I find it very hard to say you are in a marriage. People say, no, I'm married. I said, no, you're not married. You are married, but you are living single. Okay. And so that's the narrative of quite a number of people. And so for me, as a coach, first of all, I would talk about myself as a woman. I got married 17 years ago to the person I call my most favorite person in the world. And why do I call him my most favorite person? I find it very easy to talk with my husband. Interestingly, we both served together. We're both from Nigeria, and there's this compulsory program you do after your university where you go serve your country for 1 year. And so we met during this 1 year compulsory program, and he was just a friend. But then I had my own challenges then. I didn't come there to get married, so that was the truth. So we turned out being friends, and then we left after 1 year and went our separate ways. And then along the line, we started talking. He was just one person I could, talk to. So it was friendship first, and the friendship was to, in his head, he saw me as one person, because if you find 5 guys around, I'll probably be the fifth person that is the guy, or the 6th person that is the guy. And I'm like a guy's girl. So he found it very strange to say, okay, she's always with guys, and somehow in his head, I needed saving. And so probably he wanted to save me from myself. But then I was not looking for anybody to save me, so to speak. I could do life myself. And so I'm one person that I love people. I love having people around me. And so we got together. We were just friends. And then one day he asked some questions. And I'm like, why are you talking like this? And it was like, he's not looking for a girlfriend. He's looking for a wife. And I'm like, okay, good. Let's see how this goes. And I took some time praying. Before then, I had made, some prayers, sat down to say, God, I want a certain type of man. Because why was I looking for a certain type of man? I wanted somebody that would let me be me, let me be myself. And I found out that I had a calling towards men. And I didn't want anybody that would say, oh, I am a jealous person. You can't do your life. You can't be who you want to be. So one of my major prayer before I got married was, God, I want a man that will understand me and let me be me. And so I met this young man, and he was okay. I'm your friend. And then when he started talking, that was just the main thing. And we were friends for some time before we started talking seriously. And one thing that was deep in my heart was, if we get married, it's us doing this marriage together. I don't want separate lives, where maybe we have separate rooms, where we are not telling each other things, where we are not each other's best friends. Okay. So that was it for me. But by the time I got married, it was like, okay, I had a different, my temperament, it's different. I'm sanguine, I'm choleric mixed together, and my husband is phlegmatic and melancholy. So we have these self-esteem issues in the sense that my husband is very cool. If you've seen him, if you met him, I am the shouting one. He's the quiet one. He's the cool, calm, and collected one. I'm the one that makes all the noise. And 17 years after, I'm still making the noise. And now he loves the noise, okay? I have to do things intentionally with my husband. So one of the things we had to do was sit down to say, okay, we want this marriage to be team-centered, and we want to be intentional about it. So I'm going to tell you what we did. What we did, I'll just use the 4Ds. I'm using 4Ds to say, how were we intentional about building a team-centered marriage and a team-centered family? So first thing was, we decided, it was a decision. Tunde, Bridget, this is our tribe. Yes, we're coming from two different homes. I have my nature, which is my temperament, my personality. You have your nature, which is your temperament, your personality. And then I have my nurturing. I was nurtured differently from the way you were nurtured. I'm the firstborn of 8 children. So I'm the first, and I have 2 boys and then 2 sisters, and like that, 8 children. I'm the firstborn. And he's the 4th of 5 children. So where we were coming from mattered. So we had to look at our nurturing. We had to look at our family values. We had to look at, where we were coming from. And okay, now this is a new tribe that we are setting up. So what are we going to decide on? So we needed to decide that, one, we will be a team. We will be a family that will do things together. So we decided that we were going to be intentional about having a marriage that we were running together as a team. For us, together everyone achieves miracle. The miracle of coming from 2 different backgrounds. My husband is Yoruba. I am Edo, Benin, to be precise. My mom is the Shakiri. My dad is Benin. So when people hear me say, let's say, most times they just speak Yoruba to me. It's okay. I'm learning how to, speak. I can't really speak, but fine, I'm learning the language. But then I have to learn the culture. I have to learn what was important to my husband, and we sat down. So one is deliberately decide what you want to do with yourselves. Do you want this marriage to work? Deliberately decide. Do you want it to be a team-centered marriage? Deliberately decide. Do you want to have a together, a family unit that everybody, you're together? So after deciding that we wanted it this way, we had to decide on our values. What are the values that we want to live out? What are the values that we want to, let people know at the end of the day? And we agreed, okay, these are things that are key to both of us. One was love. I love people. I'm energized by people. I'm a sanguine. So when I have people around me, I'm at my best. And then from where I come from, I'm the firstborn. So I already have that motherhood thing in me. So we had to now say, okay, what will be our values? So we both decided our values. So value was love. Next was I for integrity with each other, integrity with the things of God, and integrity with others. And then faithfulness to each other, faithfulness, with the things that we have to do. And then togetherness, everything we do as a team. And then S for service. We love serving each other. We love serving others. So we chose our values. And then after choosing the values, we now agreed, to say, okay, how will this family run? So you're allowed to dream. Dream of what you want. We had to sit down and say, okay, these are the number of children we want. These are the things we will do. These are the things like having a date night, saying, okay, we won't let romance stop because we are married. Because we found out that I moved in from Benin to Lagos to join my husband, got somewhere I was working before we got married. And then when we got married, Lagos was too hectic. If you know Benin and Lagos, they are too extreme. Benin is quiet and Lagos is so busy. And it was like, I was out of my depth initially. I was still asking myself, am I really doing this? And my husband would say, no, we're just passing through. We're just passing through. Don't worry, we'll be able to go through this. We're passing through. And 17 years later, we are still passing through. We've gone out, come back to Lagos, and we're still here. And what we decided to do was to dream about the life that we wanted together. We wanted to, you know, dream about the life we wanted. And we put pen to paper and we wrote our 10 years goal. So it didn't start one day. We wrote everything we wanted to do. Okay, this is where we will be, our children. We sat down and we put pen to paper. We wrote out our dreams. If I can find that here, let me try and see if I can get it in my notes. And we wrote the 10-year plan for, we call ourselves Team Elesin. So we named our team. We're Tunde and Bridget Elesin. Then the children, we have 3 children. One is 16 years old. The other is, the first is a girl. The second is a girl, 14 years old. And the third is a boy. He'll be 12 soon, this September. And so we decided to dream on paper and we wrote down the things we would want to achieve in the next 10 years. So when we did this was like 5 years ago. So what I tell people, yes, we are still passing through together at WC. We are still passing through Lagos together. We are still together. So we decided to dream on paper. But before then, we had been dreaming, even the kind of life we wanted, the kind of things that we do. Until today, we still dream. And we have dream boards, you know, by the side of our bed, opposite our bed is our dream board. We have things written there. We dream and we write, these are the things we want to do. So we dream together in terms of courses we will attend. We are both John Maxwell Certified Coaches, and we wrote down things that we will do. And every year, we keep writing down our goals and living our dreams. So it's very, very key that you do that. You must be intentional. You want a certain kind of lifestyle. You want a certain kind of family. You must be intentional about building that family that you want, okay? So after dreaming, the next thing you must do is deliberately now work the dream. Work the dream. Deliberately work on it together. Sit down and agree. How do we want this family to be? Agree on different things because you will have a different perspective. Your spouse will have a different perspective. Work it out. You've written your values. You've said, okay, this is what I want to do. Then work everything out. And as you're working this out, understanding that every family path is different. What is the purpose of your family? Why did you both come together? Know the purpose. Have it in you at the back of your mind that this is the purpose we want to live. This is what we want to do. And based on your values, you are friends with people based on your values. You do things with people based on your values. So you keep working the dream and doing it as a team. You must do it as a team. Know that you have a path together and don't compare. I don't compare my family life with other people's family life because they have their family dynamics. Yes, I can pick out things from other families, what they're doing, and improve on mine. But I do not compare to say, oh, my husband is this. Why are you not like Mr. John? Why are you not like Mr. David? No, he's unique. I am unique. And so we deliberately work out all the things that we've written. We keep working it out because we have our own family paths. We don't compare. We try as much as possible to be our best, okay? We keep being our best. And then what else do you need to do? You need to do the work. You need to do the work. If you need to date yourself as a couple, I find out that a lot of people will say, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to have me time with my spouse. I'm too busy to have me time with my children. And they value, you know, it's like they give their children presents. You give them presents and your presence is not there. You are not there. Your presence, you're not in the home. Okay, I have worked before. I've been a mother where I used to do 9 to 5, you know, go to work. My husband used to travel. And it came to a time where we told ourselves, you know what? If we continue like this and with Lagos, our children will be left, you know, in the hands of people that, yes, our support system, but probably do not understand our values. So one person had to stop, working. And it wasn't because I was the woman. We agreed, okay, who is earning more? Who will do this more? I call myself the domestic goddess, And why am I the domestic goddess? I make things happen for my family and for others. I hate that title when you say housewife. Even when I feel form sometimes, when I want to be mischievous in filling my form, I'll put domestic goddess. I'll say, what is that? I'll say, yeah, that's what you call a housewife. But I'm not a housewife because I'm not married to the house. So after 5 years working 8 to 5 job, I quit to become a domestic goddess. And sitting at home, staying at home just made me realize that, whoa, I have a lot to do, a lot to do as a woman, a lot to do to build myself up. So that was how my coaching and my learning and everything started. Because I was at home, I had the time to do so many things I wanted to do. And as a person, I read and I love learning. So I started my journey as a full-time housewife. I don't like that title. Sorry, it's okay to be a full-time housewife. I've been one things and I'm still one, but I love the name domestic goddess. So when people say, why? How are you a domestic goddess? I say, yes, I'm a full-time housewife. I love my husband. I love my children. I help them become better in every way. And I do things for others. So even as a domestic goddess, I make things happen for others. I do a lot. I'm a woman of many parts, okay? So at the end of the day, I tell people, deliberately date yourself. Deliberately be present in the life of your children. Deliberately be involved. Okay, we have 3 children. We're involved in their life. They know that we're involved. We take out time once a month. We sit down, and like I tell people, COVID brought my family back to me because my children were all in the boarding house before COVID. We're all in the secondary school, and so with COVID, they had to come back home. And by the time they came back home, it was as if I was seeing them afresh, knowing them in a new way. I began to understand them in a new way. My first is 16. She turned 16 when she was at home. And we started talking. Now I had to understand that I am dealing with teenagers, dealing with digital natives, dealing with people that, will question you, say things. Okay, between my husband and I, my children will say, okay, I'm the cool one because I how will I say it now? I know what's up, and we will talk. But then in deciding to talk with them, in deciding to bring them into all the things that we do, we have to also let them know we are the parents. Yes, we are friends, but mind you, we are friends with you, but we are still the parents. So the decision to do whatever you have to do still lies in our hands until you are adults and you can do things. Yes, we let them be themselves, but we still have some certain level of control. So what am I saying? Deliberately do life together, deliberately decide things together, have everybody's shared interest put into consideration when you are running a team-centered marriage or when you are running a team. Thank you for loving the title Domestic Goddess. When you are running, your family together, decide, let everybody's voice count. And so for me and my husband, we have date nights, which we do every 14th of the month. Date night for us is both of us, Tunde and Bridget now, coming to say, okay, today is our day. And why 14th? 14th, we got married June 14th. So we just said to make it easy, every June 14th, every 14th of the month becomes our date night. So sometimes we go out, sometimes we don't. Okay, so if we have to go out, we go out to eat and we talk, and then we play a game. We call it the 5x5 connect game, communication and connect game, and we talk to ourselves and say, okay, what are the 5 things I like about you that you've been doing, and what are the 5 things I don't like and I want you to change? And so we will talk back and forth. Sometimes we don't go out; we are in our sitting room talking. Sometimes it's even a message to just say, hey, happy anniversary, monthly anniversary. How are you doing? Thanks for being in my life. What are we doing? We're just affirming each other. We're loving on each other. We're talking to each other and we're getting to know each other. And when we give that feedback, when we play the game, what happens is I now know, okay, I'm doing something that my husband does not really like and he would want me to change, or he is doing something I don't really like and I want him to change. And that helps us communicate. And we also taught this game to our children to say, okay, once in a month, let's have a family meeting, or maybe once in 3 months. But with COVID, we've been having it regularly to say, okay, once a month, let's have a meeting and we will talk and just talk to each other. So what am I saying? If you want to build a family that you will be together, you will be a team. You have to be deliberate about it. You have to decide that you want to be intentional about it and deliberate about it. You have to deliberately do the work together, sit down, decide what you want. I tell people, one quote I love so much is, two cannot work together except they be agreed. Because in marriage, love is never enough. Even in a family, love is never enough. But when you both agree to say we are going towards this direction, you have a direction, you have a point that you want to go to, then you can both decide together and make sure you are aligned and you are moving towards the same direction. And that's what we've been doing with our family. That's what we've been doing with the children. And then when the Complete Family magazine thing came, it was just natural. Okay, complete family, we're talking about the complete family. I am dealing with the complete man, talking to the complete woman. I talk to fathers because when I started the whole coaching thing, I just had the passion for fathers, how to help men, live intentionally and make fatherhood memorable. So currently I have 2 books that I've written for fathers, and it started by just sending them messages every day on a Facebook group. And from there, it became something that an in-law of mine said, oh, this is so good, turn it into a book. And from there, my first book came out, Fathers, You Must Take the Lead. And from that book, I started writing, talking to fathers, going for meetings with men. And that was it. And till date, I still talk to men. I have various groups, WhatsApp, and even on Facebook, just talking to men. But what am I saying? Being intentional. My husband is intentional about fatherhood. And it was a decision we both took that, okay, man, you will not delegate your authority. You will not delegate your presence. You will not delegate instructions to the children. That was his idea of being a consummate father, of staying in their lives. So if our children have to go to school, my husband is involved. If they have PTA, yes, he might not have the time. I will have to go back. They are meeting, he needs to show up. So we agree together. This is how we want to run our home. This is team election. This is how we're running our home. We're not looking at other people's scripts to run our home. We sat down and we intentionally agreed. We sat down, we had the dream. Okay, these are the things we would do, including having yearly vacations together, not one person going on vacation. Yes, we can go separately, but we agree that every year we must go together as a family, because the vacation is not vacation when you are not all together, okay? So that was very, very critical. So everything, we had them on paper, and we agreed this is how we're going to run our lives, okay? We have our family values written, and then we are doing the work, and we're still doing the work. So we are not there yet. I won't come here and say, oh, we have it all together. We're work in progress, but we are very, very intentional in growing our family. We're very, very intentional in ensuring that we're in the lives of our children. We're very, very intentional in being friends with each other, in, everything, including our bedroom. Including the other room, including, intimacy with my spouse, my husband. We are very, very intentional about it. So we don't say, okay, we are married and we're just flatmates. So I tell couples, you're married and then what is happening? And some people say, oh, I've not been intimate with my husband for 1 month. And you're in the same city, you sleep on the same bed, and you do things, and what is happening? So we need to check you out. Are you okay? If anybody is if you're not sick, there's nothing, then there's the problem when you're just there. You're not getting intimate. You're not making love. I'm trying to be, in case there are babies in the room. But it's part of life. You can't just be roommates. You can't just be flatmates. You can't just be sitting down and there's nothing. So I tell people, if you have to schedule sex, please do that. If you have to schedule love making with your partner, please do that, because that's part of what makes that bond. That's part of what makes you connect with your spouse. So it's compulsory you do that. Sometimes I tell people, who is counting? People will say, no, this one. I say, no, there's nothing like it's too much. It's part of what you signed in for when you got married. Okay? When you're married, love making, companionship, communication, they're all part of relationship. So you signed in for it. Be friends with each other. I tell people, yes, marry a covenant person. Both of us are Christians, so it's easy to study the Bible and say, oh, these are the things we stand for, and these are the things we believe in, and we run together. as a team. And then in parenting, we're doing it together. There's no decision. We found out with children that they can be a little bit manipulative, and they can come to you. My children used to do that those days. They will come to me and say, "Mommy, you know what? I want to go play in this person's house." And I'll say, "Go." And then my husband will come. I just told them no. I'm like, "Really?" I said, "But I just said yes to them. I didn't know." And when we saw that they knew who to go to at what point, we said, "Okay, you know what? When you come to us, we have decided to be a team first as parents. So when you come to us to say, I want this thing," we say, "Okay, give me time to think about it. Let me think about it." And while I'm thinking, I'm consulting with my husband. Is this okay? Is it okay if she goes play? If she goes to this place? If she does this? And he will say, "Yeah, it's fine with me." If he says no, and I'll tell the child, "No, it's not okay to go." And sometimes when I tell my son, especially, I have to think about it. "Mommy, you're always thinking about it." I'll say, "Yeah, I have to think." Because what I'm trying to tell them is think. Don't just give answers. Don't just say. And while I'm thinking, I am making the decision with your dad. I'm sending a text. I'm calling. I'm asking. So don't run this race. Don't be a family on your own. Don't do marriage on your own. Don't do parenting on your own. And don't be in the life of your children alone, okay? So that they don't see that, oh, it's just mommy that is in charge. No, it will affect them later. Thank you, Coach Aaron.
So let me start here. So you call yourself a marriage mindset coach, and that's very interesting amalgamation of two words, marriage. And you're aware that we just finished our money mindset week.
Yeah.
Which you were a big part of. And one of the clear things that emerged is that our lives, our early lives especially, have conditioned our mind. We've been conditioned from a very young age, especially as it has to do with money, which is what we were discussing then. Do you think, before you explain how you came about this mindset and marriage combination, do you think that there could also be that type of programming involved in how people tend to eventually show up in their marriages? Is that also a mindset thing?
Yeah. It is a mindset thing, because what I found out over time, interestingly, I read geography and regional planning. And when we were doing this course, what I heard then when we were doing human geography was every person is a product of, their nature, where they come from. And so they will tell you where you come from determines how you dress, the food you eat and things like that. And so when I came into coaching and in the family life space, I saw that people were, their marriage is determined by mommy and daddy university, the mindset, where they're coming from. Whoever taught them how to do marriage was how they saw themselves doing marriage life. So if they had a mom that was very active, the man wants his wife to be like his mom. And the woman, whatever she saw from her dad is the way she looks at the man. So if she's used to abuse, her mom is used to abuse, she gets into a marriage expecting abuse because that has been her narrative. So she comes in and she's expecting something that even if the man does not abuse her, she will do something to provoke him to want to abuse her. So it's a mindset because you're coming from somewhere. So people learn because, as we say, every child is born on a clean slate, tabula rasa. Every person is born, on a clean slate. But then your environment will condition you. So the way you see your parents do marriage is how you will want to do marriage, except you intentionally uninstall whatever was installed in you. Intentionally, you remove that mindset to say, no, this is not how marriage should be. And the truth is, yes, somebody said cultural mindset, very fixed. We have a lot of men that are Christians and are still traditional in their thinking. They're still very, very traditional. Okay? So you need to understand this, that where you're coming from matters. So I saw my parents do marriage in a certain way. Tunde saw his parents, my husband, saw his parents do marriage in a certain way. But because we have similar background. My parents believed in marriage. They've been married over 47 years now. His own parents, they've been married, as in they were married almost 50 years when the father passed on, before the mother passed on later, 4 years later, after the dad passed on. So what am I saying? At the end of the day, we came into marriage wanting our marriage to be just like our parents' marriage, but we had to uninstall some programming, things that were not right. Okay, he's used to his mom. His mom is on the quiet side. And so when we were getting married, he probably, yes, I know Bridget is like this, but he wanted a mini version of his wife. I had to sit him down. Guy, this babe is not your mother, and she will never be. I'm not the quiet one. So don't expect me to be like that. So for a long time, I was trying to fit into that, quiet, be seen and not heard. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So you would just see me quiet and I'm doing nothing. So I had to find my place. I had to work to say, no, this is who you are. This is who I am. So let's marry each other, knowing that this is who you are and this is who I am. And since then, I am myself in my marriage. If I want to scream, the day I want to scream, oh, this girl has come again, she's making noise. And he's okay with it. The day I don't want to talk, it's fine. So that mindset, we need to have a progressive mindset with marriage and decide to do it our own way. Don't do it your father's way. Don't do it your mother's way, because you are not married to your father and neither are you your mother. So agree. This is who I am. This is who my wife or my spouse is. And then what kind of home do we want to run? And agree on the kind of marriage you want and have that mindset and run with it. For us, it's a team-centered marriage. Yeah.
Good stuff. There's a question on the screen. Let's just deal with that before I go into. So this viewer says, here's my question. From what you said, we need to make certain decisions in marriage right from the onset. So can a couple that didn't do this from the onset start now?
Yeah.
That's the answer.
There's nothing like it's too late. That's the truth. You are not too late. Every person can grow. Every person can learn. Every person can make that, decision to be more. So what you need to do is, are we ready to do this? Sometimes you might need external help. You might need a coach to help you. But if you both sit down and agree, because sometimes when people come to me, it will be the man saying, oh, my wife needs help. And I'm like, really? Okay, tell me about it. And by the time he starts talking, I'm like, you need help, not just your wife. So you both need help. Okay, so you sit down and you talk about it. You talk about it. You agree how you want it. When I say team-centered marriage, we are a team. So that includes our finance. That includes everything I'm doing. My husband gets to know. We know passwords. We do things together in common. So we are not running as if I don't know. People have accused my husband before. Must you tell your wife this? He said, no, it's our agreement that we run this as a team. And you talk to me and say, can you give me some time? Let me run this by my husband. Or give me some time. Let me get back to you. And people will wonder, why are you getting back to your husband? Can't you just decide for yourself? No, he's a big part of my life. So I need to decide. I need to agree with him. So it's not too late, please. And if you're finding it hard, then get a coach. Let's talk.
Cool. So there are spouses, another question. There are spouses who wouldn't want to disclose their plan and share their views. How can one deal with that? All right, looks like this marriage stuff is good conversation. Maybe we'll have September for marriage life. We'll see. I'll probably get some more.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So let me go back to that question for you. So there are spouses who wouldn't want to discuss or plan and share their views. How can one deal with that?
Okay. I said this before, that every person is a product of nature, which is your personality, and then your nurturing. So if that particular spouse has a temperament that is closed, let's put it this way, you have 4 different temperaments. There are other variations of these 4 different temperaments. So you have the sanguine and the choleric, they are extroverts. You have the melancholy and the phlegmatic, they are introverts, okay? So if you're married to somebody that is an introvert, it also depends on how the person communicates. So you find out that the person that is an introvert might not be in that space where they want to talk and share. So who is your spouse? There are assessments to run all of that for you to know who this person is so that you can deal better. And then where is he or she coming from? If they are used to let's hide, let's cover this. They won't be open. There are people that they are private. My husband is a private person. I am the one that is loud, not loud to just show myself anyhow, but loud to say, okay, I am seen. But he wants his life kept private. But with the kind of work I do and then sharing on social media, they got to know him, and gradually now he's also coming out gradually. But it takes time because that's his nature. He's a private person. So you can't force him to be, an extrovert. But with time, when you keep showing up, you keep talking, and you understand where it's coming, you will now understand that you can both be part of each other's life, and the private person is still kept private, and you are doing your thing. And once in a while, the person will come out to support you. But in terms of talking, you need to know you are in a marriage. You are business partners. You are. How do I say it now? You are in this together. Your marriage is like a company. You can't say, oh, I talk to my board once in a year or something. Yes, there are companies like that. But companies that thrive, they have seamless communication that is ongoing continuously. So you need to be in that space where you both can talk and then try and make things right. Okay, so get the person to talk and keep being their friends. We are big on being friends with each other in marriage, because friends will talk, friends will share, friends will want to open up, and then it's your duty as a wife. I teach in my program. I teach a program called the Superstar Wifey, how you can make your husband. You can be the wife of your husband's dream, or you can be his #1 fan. And one of the things I teach women is for them to know that your attitude in marriage counts. Your attitude is key.
Please tell them.
Key. Yes, your attitude is key. And the way you behave, the way you talk, your verbal, in communication, you have verbal cues, non-verbal cues. Some people will not talk, but they are non-verbal cues, the way they will eye the man, the way they will shrug, the way they will, hiss and do things will just keep the man far from them. So same thing with the man, with the woman. You want a wife that will be all over you. You need to treat her well. You need to be her friend. You need to also be a cheerleader. You need to know her love language. Same thing with the man. So be friends with each other. And then your mouth, what are you saying? As women, we have raised our mouths. We can say one thing. Yeah, we can tear a man down with our mouth. We can build with our mouth. So if you're a cheerleader and you tell a man you can be the best and you keep cheering him on, he wants to come to you. Every time there's an idea, my husband calls me his chief consultant. Why? I've given him that room to talk to me. I'm easy to talk with. And I tell women this. This is my coaching program I'm letting out. But let me let you know. There's something I teach there, talking about you being a Deborah and a Delilah. When you talk to Christian woman and you mention Delilah, they'll say, demon. But the truth is, she had this strength in her that made Samson, if you go to the Bible, Judges 6, that made Samson to put his head on her lap. Even when she was nagging and revealing his secrets, he was comfortable with her. He could put his head on her lap. Can your husband trust you with his secrets as a woman? Can he trust you with his dreams, that dream will become reality? Can he trust you with his heart to say, okay, I'm feeling funny around somebody, and then you don't judge him and say, you started sleeping with the woman? Can he trust you with such things?
Wow.
If he can't trust you, then you can't be his friend, because he will be too careful. He will be careful when he's talking to you, because he will just feel you will judge him. And men want non-judgmental women. It's hard. Then can you be a Deborah? Can you be a leader that is leading from behind? He's the warrior. He's the one that knows what to do. Even if he doesn't know, you have intuition. You have the wisdom. Can you just let him be a man?
Wow.
Can you not rescue him all the time and say, I'm the one in charge. I'm the woman? No, be in charge from behind. Let him lead. Let him take the lead. So if you do that as a woman, it will help you.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think I'm blessed. I don't have a razor mouth wife. How do you make time? So that's a question. How do you make time for yourself? As much as it is a blessing to be a wife and a mother, I've heard of women and men mention they are burnt out from responsibilities. Do you decide as husband and wife when you want personal time?
Yeah, you are talking to the right person. I'm what you call the self-love queen. I'm big on self-love. And what I tell people is, do not be indifferent to yourself, okay? When you become indifferent, the opposite of love, someone quoted that the opposite of love is not hate, is indifference. I think it's Eli Wiesel. Somebody made that quote, is indifference. And sometimes we're indifferent in taking care of ourselves. You can't be your best when you are not taking care of yourself, when you are not loving on yourself. And when I teach women, I teach what it means to be irresistible. When you come into a room and everybody turns and looks at you, it's not because of what you're wearing. Sometimes it's not even your clothes, it's your presence, the aura you bring in. And
I love that.
Self-love starts with...
Can you just repeat that again for the women to hear? I really like that tip.
Okay.
When a woman comes into the room, she needs to be irresistible. Good.
She should be irresistible. You're coming as an irresistible woman. When you come with an aura of self-love, you come in and people look at you. Yes, you might be beautiful, but it's not about being beautiful, as in facially and the clothes you wear. It's about the aura you're coming in with. And that starts with loving on yourself, taking care of yourself, showing up for yourself, and then learning how to work as a team, learning how to praise people, learning how to affirm people. So when you come in, people will want to be your friend because you come with that irresistible magnetic presence. So you have that aura. And it's the same thing. When you are that kind of woman, you love on yourself first. And so I teach women. I have a PDF that I send. It's a free PDF to get people to join my tribe. And I say, this is for you, 20 self-love acts for you to love on yourself. It could be reading a book. As a rule, every day before I leave my bed, I tell people I live in Nigeria, but I sleep American, Canadian time. So I sleep most times 3 a.m. and I don't wake up till like 11, 12. I do 6 hours sleep. So I do my work in between. And when I wake up, I spend time first loving on myself and meditating and planning my day. Then I put out my task. What do I need to do mentally? And then I write. If I know I will forget, I put it on my calendar. And then after doing that, I tell myself, what next? I need to exercise. If I have to eat for that day because I'm trying to lose some weight, I do intermittent fasting. So I will just say, okay, I'm not fine. This is how far. And I take my time. Then in between is I must learn, get a book to read, get on a coaching program or do something. And I learn 1 hour, 2 hours. That is my self-love act. Then around 3 a.m., 4, I go to cook. And then make sure that before 6 p.m., food is ready for my family. And then I'll cook, check on the children in between assignments and things like that. And then I am back to doing what I love to do. So I tell women this, you must take time for yourself. Take time for yourself daily. And even if you are working, every weekend, plan. I used to work. So I used to take care of myself. Sometimes I'm going to the movies. I date myself, my sisters. I don't wait for my husband to take me out to eat. If I need to buy something, I go into a restaurant, sit down and have a meal time and buy myself something. I date myself. Right. If I need to take something, I do it for myself. So please do that and please make out time every year. You must take out 1 week at least for yourself to say, I am spending this time. I want to be by myself. If your husband does not agree, you can be in the house and say, give me some time every day. This is what I want. I have a discussion. I have me time. I take holiday by myself. I go with my family as well.
That's really good, and something I teach my coaching clients, and even as a rule of in my house, for everybody who's watching, in my home, every second weekend is my wife away time. So I've already booked her away for this weekend, and I was asking her this morning, hope you're taking your time away, but it's already booked, and then I go away every third week. I go away every third week. This particular month, she's going away the second week by herself. I'm going away the third week, and then we're going away together the last week. The last weekend. So it's very intentional. If you're listening, these are things you have to intentionally plan. You have to intentionally plan in your marriage. So my wife has her weekend away every month. It's intentional. And I have to have my time away every month. So you have to plan that in your marriage. All right. People are just throwing in all the questions. So let's go there. When one spouse is no longer interested in bedmatics, sex, or is no more attracted to the other spouse, what do you reckon should be done?
Okay, that's a big one. The truth is, that's why I said date yourselves. Okay, if you leave yourself, what you are not, how do I put it now? What you are not working will not work. So if you deliberately don't make things
Say that
work
again.
out
What you're
between
not
both of you,
working, what you're
what
not
are not
working.
working will not work.
Yeah, so
Yes,
that people don't miss that.
yes. So if you are not deliberately dating your spouse, you are not deliberately working on your relationship, you won't have anything. And mathematics is both attraction and the way you serve it, the way you serve it. So if it's the woman to the man, let's say as a woman, how your hygiene is one. Two, what methods are you using? Some people will say, okay, we're Christians, let's do the missionary style. I keep asking, who even gave it missionary in the first place? Who gave it that name? Because what is missionary about it? You understand? Okay, face to face, we agree. But there are so many things you can do with that, where you are not just having sex the same way. People will say, how come I'm always eating rice? I said, that same rice, you can make fried rice, you can make jollof rice, you can make that same rice, into coconut rice, you can make it curried rice, one same item. So spice up your bedroom, spice up things there. One is hygiene. If the man is not clean, the woman is not clean, is a turn off. That's a turn off. As a guy, are you changing your boxers? Are you taking your bath? Are you using deodorant? As a woman, are you doing the same thing? Are you clean down below? And then in terms of what you do, just one style will not work. And even the missionary style, for those that have pregnant wives, or your wives, they've had children, you will know that it won't work at a certain stage. And because you are pregnant, pregnancy is not a disease. If there's no problem medically, you can still make love till the week of the person having the baby, even till the day, except there's a problem. So you can't do missionary style and lie on top of the woman because you want to make love. So you have to learn other styles where you can be there. And then are you satisfying the person? There is fast mark in this issue. It's not just do and come out. You have to sit down and, am I hitting the notes? I've asked people before, have you ever had an orgasm? The woman will say, what is that? I said, not the name of something. No. Sorry, I'm speaking pretty because there are some things you can't talk with. Correct? And say, no, orgasm. Tell it, check what it means. They say, no, we've never. 9 years, 10 years, you never had orgasm. There's a problem. Somebody is not doing his work. You too, you're not doing your work. So you probably will need to get into a sex therapy session where you both know yourselves. So today, assignments, coach, please let me give them assignments. If you've not been doing this, please go and meet your wife, lock your door, say, let's know each other. Undress and stand with each other. Start with the breast, start from the head, start touching. Will this make you trip? You don't touch, kiss, do whatever, head to toe, and then talk to yourselves and say this is working and what is not working. And then tell yourself, we must spice up our bedroom. Spice up things there and make it work. If you make it work, you can't even get enough of yourself. I've taught people where later, one of them actually got pregnant and said, hey, Mama B, you put me in trouble. I said, I will do a muko, don't worry. But what am I saying? As in, I'll come and look after the baby. Because it will happen. But be deliberate about, one, affirming your wife or your husband. Be deliberate about speaking their love language consistently. Make a little deposit. Everybody has an emotional bank account. Make a deposit all the time. It's not when you want to go to the bedroom and say, baby, show up. No. Make a deposit every day. Showing up, asking after her, doing what she loves or doing what he loves, serve him. And when it's time for the bedroom, be in charge. Both of you should be in charge. Tell him, this is what I want. This is what. Don't say, oh, he will think I'm sports. If you're not sports, you are sports to your spouse, not to an outsider. You are with your spouse. So open up and talk. And then if it's a hygiene issue, please work on it. Both of you enter the bathroom and bathe yourselves, take a bath, scrub. As you are doing that, touch and go. And whatever it leads to.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we'll probably still come back there. Someone says, what if you're married to someone with philandering habits and downright irresponsible financially? What is the question there, actually? I guess, what do they do is the question.
Okay, so basically, I always tell women, sometimes you will see some of these things in the man, you will know that, oh, his eyes, you know, they are not stable. And then you will still go ahead. But it's not as they give up on him. You can help him become a better person. Okay? It's how you sell your market, so to speak. What are you offering? What are you giving him? Yes, there's the point where you pray. But I always tell men, try something better. Philandering is not it. You cheating on your wife, if you are a Christian or you've taken a vow, it's between you, God, and the woman. And then I tell most men, when you cheat, you are cheating yourself, your destiny. If you are a Christian, go to the Bible and see what Proverbs 6:7 says, and you will know that you are cutting your life short by you know, going into another woman. Because what will happen to you is you will shortchange yourself. So what I would tell that woman is, yes, there's the place of prayer, but it's not just prayer. You need to look at yourself and talk to this man. What do you want? Why are you doing this? Be open. Let him know. And if there are issues, you are not his problem. You are not the cause. Because most women will blame themselves. The man will say, oh, you are not clean enough. You are not this enough. No, please don't let anybody put that on you. It was his decision to go cheat. It was his decision to sow his wide oats and things that he's doing. It's not your decision. He can work on it. If he needs help, then he should get help. Some people need help with that because they're coming from somewhere and they want to do good and they can't do good. So they might need somebody to help them stay faithful. Okay? So you pray them out of the habit. It's not by complaining. You now sit them down and then get a counselor, a professional. Sometimes we'll say, talk to the pastor. Pastors are good if they are professionally, you know, taught how to do this, because sometimes they will come and they will escalate it. So talk to people, and it's not a family member thing, except the family member is also a professional, because you can take that case to a family member and it becomes an issue. So please, I tell women this, know how to, you know, put your dirty linen out there. And if you must report your husband, report him or her, your spouse, to somebody that will help and not escalate the issue. Somebody that will truly have your interest at heart and help both of you. So if you talk to him and then his financial irresponsibility, you need to also know that based on our temperament, we also spend like that. So his temperament will also decide. And then his money mindset, we've done that. Yes, Coach Aaron, 5 days, awesome. I had to get the access pass for the money mindset because it was something else, the all-time access pass. And I told my husband, I said, this one, we eat it and write and take notes and everything. Why am I saying that? You need to teach and let people know their money mindset. So if he's coming from a home where they just see money and spend, he won't know that he's meant to save. So if you are the saver, every family has a spender and a saver. Who is the saver? Who is the spender? How do we manage our finance together? That's why it's key to have a team-centered family, a team-centered marriage. So when you do it as a team, you can help him become accountable in every way. So pray, yeah, but prayer is not enough. Get help if you need to.
Good stuff. Thank you so much. Let me read you some stats that I've just received here in the UK. Fact number one, to date, 42% of marriages have ended in divorce. In 2017, there were 242,842 marriage filings and 204,014 people filed for divorce in the same year.
Wow.
62% of marriage filings come from the wife, 62%. 45 to 49 is the most common age for higher amounts of divorces. Very depressing stats, you agree. Do you think we're having a higher rate of divorce and marriage? And if yes, what in your opinion is the problem? And then for most of my viewers who are Christians, and what we found out is Christians are no exception in this whole divorce thing. What are your thoughts on all this stuff?
Okay, basically what I know to be true is the statistics are high out there, and one is communication. If you can fix communication first in marriage, you can fix every other thing. Because when people say irreconcilable differences, I ask them, what are those things you can't reconcile? Even if it's a cheat. The Bible says, Jesus said, you know, the man and wife, they live. The man lives to cleave to the wife, but When Moses allowed divorce, it was because of the hardness of their heart. If your heart is not hard, you can forgive and move on. So first of all is fixed communication. How do you both communicate? How do you listen to your spouse? What is this saying? Learn communication skill. Learn to talk, not just talk, because talking is not communication. Are you passing on the information that the person understands? Are you sitting on the same side? Because you are a team. If you are a team, you don't score cheap goals against each other because you will both lose. So it's not about being right. It's about making sure that you are going together. That's why I tell people, one is Amos 3:3. Two cannot work together except they be agreed. So have you agreed to work as a team? If you have agreed to work as a team in the marriage, as parents, in your finance, in everything. So be open and naked and not ashamed. People are not talking. So when you don't talk, the marriage will not work itself. If you don't know how your husband's day is, he doesn't know how your day is, and you don't talk, 1 week you are not talking, and then if you talk, it's just hello, hi, good morning, and nothing is happening. Then there's no love making, nothing. That is a marriage that is not a marriage. So, or one person is doing all the hard work, the other person does not care. It takes two to clap. You can't clap with one hand. Beautiful. It takes two. You can't clap with one hand. So we can't make the marriage work with one person. Yes, sometimes it will help, but it's like hitting your head against the wall. But when the two people are ready to compromise, you communicate, you compromise, as in bring your ideas, and each person's idea should count. Don't say because I'm the head, it must be my decision. If you are a man that is not good with finance, and because you are the head, you are running the family aground, the wife believes in financial security. So what are you doing? You earn good money, but you don't bring the money home. It won't work. So a woman wants to be financially stable. A woman wants to be, she wants companionship. A woman wants a man to be there for her, to be loyal, to be there. What does a man want? Most times they will tell you he wants sex. That is a big deal to a man. But it's not just sex. He wants companionship as well. He wants a person that is his dream girl. If your husband wants you to just gist with him, there are women that will say, we are Christians, we can't go to the club because I'm not a born-again Christian. Are they killing people in the club? Are you getting me? Yes, so you let him go. You can't go out. Oh, I'm going to a pub. Oh, I can't go. Christians are not seen there. And you just let yourself go. And because you're a Christian, oh, he can't cheat, he can't cheat. You dress like his mother every day, even worse than his mother. And you don't look good. He sees you in the morning with night gown. He comes back in the evening. You are still wearing the night gown.
Wow.
And then that's not what he signed up for. He signed up for a friend. He signed up for a companion. Same thing with the woman. You as a man, as you are telling her, oh, you are too far, you too. Let's see your six packs. Let's see you looking clean. Let's see you well dressed. So that we know that we are slaying together. So don't tell me what you are not doing. That's why I said don't expose what is not working at home. Do what is working and make it work. So when people are not having all of this together, especially, communicating, being romantic and dating themselves continuously, it will just fizzle out. And then when the children come, it's like double whammy. You are not even able to manage one person. Now you have children and the person is not doing it with you. You are a human being. You just get tired. Your love bank is empty. You keep reacting. You keep shouting. And before you know, oh, he's not the man I used to know. She's not the woman I used to know. And then you are gone. Yeah. So please sit down and help yourself.
Bridget,
you have to.
You are shooting for real. I think if my team is listening, I think we're gonna have a marriage and family life summit. So watch out.
Oh, beautiful.
It looks like we have a topic on our hands. This is great stuff. Great stuff. I'm sorry I had to interrupt there.
No problem. Fine.
Let me try and go into some of the things that I think typically come. So, especially as Christian, how does this Bible scripture of wives honor your husband and husband loves your wife? How does that thing really? Someone says I should make sure I bring you back. Definitely. How does that work?
Okay.
How does that work? Really in relationships.
Okay. Truthfully, love and respect. Before the 5 love languages that Gary Chapman spoke about, God has already put love and respect there as a love language. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be respected. And in marriage, I tell people, when God is a feminist, and let's get that right. Where I have problem with feminism is extreme feminism, where you want to say, oh, even in marriage, I am equal to my, no. If you are a Christian, your husband is your head. Is your head. And then you, as a wife, you are his helper. You are help suitable for him. And when you define the helper, I teach this in my courses, and I say, Ezra in the Greek or Hebrew word is the word for helper, and that's the same word for the Holy Spirit. As a woman, you are a strengthener, you are an advocate, you are an intercessor, using that word. So you are strengthening him, you are a standby there, but he's the head. You are there to help him. So you honor him in the way you talk to him, the VIP way. I say you honor the man verbally. How do you talk to him? You honor him intellectually. Yes. How do you ask him for help? What do you say to him? How can he assist you intellectually? You honor him physically with the way you communicate. There are women that, even me as a woman, when I see them, I know that, their husband has grace. Just as people will see me and say, hey, grace for your husband. But when it comes to marriage, people know, those that know me, I treat my husband with utmost respect. Because it's not by talking, oh, you are outgoing, you are this. When it comes to him, he runs his house. And okay, sir, what do you want? This, if you hear him calling me ma, he's respect. Oh, till now, even text messages, some people say, is it your husband you are saying sir? Say, yes, he's sir. Even if you are older than the man, you've married him. There's a woman in the Bible that I love so much, Abigail. It was recorded she was married to a fool. Nabal was a fool. And then when things happened, and she heard, she left him and said, if I leave this man, we will all be dead people. She went, and what did she do? She spoke to the king in David. So as a woman, are you speaking to the king in your man? When people say special package, I say, except I'm not your coach. When I finish with you as your coach, as a woman, I will make you a superstar wife that your husband will see you. And he's dropping the check, he's buying the cars, he's giving you, say, do anything. The way Sarah said to Esther, to the half of my kingdom, tell me, babe, what do you want? Why? Because there's a language for men. Honor, respect. God is a God of honor. That you earn more than him does not mean you disrespect him. That you have a family. Maybe he came from a family with nothing, no pedigree. And as long as he's your husband, you learn to submit. That you are MD CEO in your company as a woman does not mean you will not hear your husband. But then, let's play this out with the men. Some men treat their wives as if they are second-class citizens. When God created us, it was male and female. He blessed them. He didn't say bless them separately. He blessed male and female. So she can multiply, she can reproduce, she can be everything. And this is a woman that is MD CEO there. She respects you, and then you treat her like trash. Don't do that. Love her, respect her, honor her. And what you give is what you receive. If you love wholeheartedly, you will receive love wholeheartedly. If you respect her wholeheartedly, she too will respect you wholeheartedly. But that is not an excuse for a woman to insult the husband. I don't subscribe to, women dishonoring their husbands, okay? I do not do that. And I tell people, I can give you women in the Bible. Michael, or whatever they call her, in the Bible she was disrespectful to her husband, King David. And it was recorded she never had a child. So your disrespect will cause you problem. Even the man, love your wife. Husbands, love your wife. Love her. Christ so loved us as the church that he died. Can you die for your wife? Sometimes when I tell men that, they say, no, Christ has died and I can't die. I say, no, you die to self daily. You have to die to self. Daily, die. Because the woman will, yes, he was a professional fool. Now, that's the truth. But she lived with him. Meaning she was respecting him, his views, and she knew how she lived with him. There's no woman or no man you can live with if you are wise. And even if you're in a difficult marriage, what I tell people is this. If you're in a difficult marriage, listen to me, woman. I use Nelson Mandela sometimes as and people say, no, it doesn't matter. I say it matters. Why? Your mindset. He could come out of prison with the way he was treated, with everything that was done to him. He came out intact with his intellect, his brain, his heart intact. That he could still become president. Why? Because he did not see what was being done. He lived above what the person was doing. and he was living in forgiveness. Father, forgive them. He might not have been a Christian, but he lived the principle of Christianity, forgiveness. And that forgiveness was what kept him, that he came out to be a president and could live honorably. That till today, he's dead, but they are still talking about it. Marriage is for two forgivers. Can you forgive? Can you love? Can you respect that person, that man, that woman? Don't treat your wife with disdain because you think she's nothing. You married her. I've seen men. There was a man, he's late now, that got married. He said he didn't further his education to an extent because he didn't want to leave his wife behind. Yes, he could go for short courses and go. He said because if he had gone too far, he would see his wife as a stark illiterate and we wouldn't want her. So he deliberately, it was done deliberately. Okay? It was done deliberately. And everything he did was to carry his wife along. When I became a domestic goddess, I didn't have the opportunity of going out. My husband will be going for meetings. He will say, let me go with you. Sometimes I would travel with him. While he's doing board meeting, I'm gallivanting about. And that gave me a sense of belonging. That yes, he valued me, he respected me, he honored me. And he will have meeting. He will call me to say, he will tell his people, can I bring my wife? And they'll say, yes, we don't mind. And the truth is, I tell him, I say, I save me in most of those meetings because I'm the one with conversations. My husband, he will just talk business and forget. I will go deep into, okay, who are you, this, and we'll start talking. As we are talking, we are getting to know the person, and then he's speaking things as well. So what am I saying? Understand that you are a team, and you both have strength. Respect, honor each other, and forgive. Let's not work as if we're dealing with the devil. Even if the man is the devil, love him enough that he will drop his demonic attitude and love and pray for him.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Love it. Obviously, even from your teaching tonight, it appears that you and your hubby were very good friends. Before you got married and all that kind of things. How do people go from I love you to I hate you, I want a divorce? Okay. How does that transition happen?
Coach Aaron, let me just use you and I for example. Yeah. Okay. I met you in a group, and there are so many people in that group.
Yep.
And we followed each other, and now we are here. Yeah. And I know a bit of you because my brother-in-law, I think you and him used to be in the church together and things like that. So at the end of the day, I've heard things. Even today when I put up the post, somebody like, oh, I know him. I say, oh, good. And good feedback and comments. So what am I saying? We took it from, oh, just being John Maxwell coaches to being on each other's page, to sending each other's message, sharing and broadcasting your message. And now we're here together saying, okay, we're talking and having conversations. It's the same thing. Everybody wants to be friend. The Bible says a man that wants friend must show himself friendly. Yeah. How friendly are you? How are you depositing, love acts and habits into your spouse's love bank? Everybody has an emotional love bank. You have an emotional bank account, and everybody must drop deliberately. You must drop, acts of kindness every day. What can I do? Today, I went to cook early because I knew I was going to do this. My husband is coming from work, and then he will come home and there's no food because Almighty Bridget is coming on the show. And then he comes back, he makes food for himself. It's not a big deal. He can make food for himself. He's not crippled. But what am I saying? It's an act of love for me to say, hey, this guy has been out there. Let me help make this food. My daughter met me yesterday and said, Mommy, you're always saying, I'm doing this for daddy. Are you not doing it for us? We came out from your stomach. We came out from your womb. Why is it our daddy? I said, please, leave me alone. It's for my husband. You too will have your husband one day. I will do things for you, but this is how I'm serving him. And they are watching me do it. Today, she still made that comment that everything is daddy, daddy. I said, no, please. I'm serving because they will leave. These children will leave us. We started together. We will be together till they do us part. So you will come and you will go. Now only two of us will come. Please leave us alone. So what am I saying? You have to deliberately make this work. That's why we agree on date nights every month. Even if we don't go out, we will talk. Right now we have weekly meetings sometimes because now we are living busy lives. I have programs. He has programs. We need to ask ourselves, okay, what do we need to do? What 2 days ago, I watched 2 movies back to back with my husband and my daughter. We have to deliberately create time to bond. And then we create time to bedroom matters now. And it's not just friendship with mouth. Create that time, because that's what bonds both of you. Beyond being friends is the intimacy. Intimacy is in different levels. There's intellectual intimacy, there's physical intimacy, there's spiritual intimacy, there's recreational intimacy. You have to be intimate in different levels. So intellectually, we are studying together. We have a library, we read together, we look at the books, and we have a book for maybe a month or 3 months, and then we run courses together. There are programs I go for, and I'll take notes and say, guy, look at what I read. Look at this. I will share. He will share. So we are growing intellectually together. Physical intimacy, we don't play with it. When I ask some women, how many times do you make love in a week? They'll say, sometimes no. I say, why? If I say once, they say, once, we try. I say, why? If you do 4 times, 4/7, is it pass mark? Manageable. But if you want to be making love every day, it is pass mark for both of you, because it's mutual. It's not the man. Because some women say, it's just enjoy. Are you not enjoying it? If you are not enjoying it, see me. Let's talk. Why are you not enjoying it? Is there a problem? Is there a mindset? Is there something wrong? So love making is compulsory. Schedule it if you are too busy. Today, Monday, we are having sex. Okay? By 8 o'clock, I'm calling you into the room. If I blow whistle, come out. Schedule it. Schedule it. You don't have the time. If you say, okay, I'm not a morning, I'm a night person, I'm a morning person. Okay, by 4 a.m., girl, I'm waking you up. Oh, wake up. So turn. When is that time? It's time, because it's on the schedule. It's there. If you have to set alarm, set alarm. And do it every day. Nobody is counting. It's your wife. Because the more you do that, the more you bond. And make sure you are both enjoying the act. And that's why I keep saying hygiene is key. The way you keep your bedroom clean, it's key. The way you do it. And man, don't do and lie down and face the wall. The woman wants to be cuddled. Women are mostly cuddlers. Cuddle her. Is she okay? Does she want more? Score yourself. Now, if you're not doing well, then there's wahala in the house. There's problem. So talk to yourselves. Because if we don't deposit this regularly, we won't have a relationship. It has to be deliberate. What you don't work will not work. Make it work by putting, kindness. Put into it and make it work. Respect, honor, VIP way, intellectual, intimacy in all the ways I've counted, including spiritually. Don't just say my pastor said. What are you saying? What is your husband saying? Pray together. We pray together in my house. There's family altar. There's devotion in the house. The children will take turn explaining things. We will take turn doing it. When they were in school, we will do it together. Before my husband leaves the house, we must pray. And if there is need to wait on the Lord, we wait together and we pray and we move on. So please don't do life alone. Don't be married and living single.
Wow, amazing stuff. I'm loving today's session. So if you look back 4 to 5 decades ago, do you think that the marriage culture and people values have changed?
Yeah.
And how is that impacting marriages today?
Okay, everything has changed, my brother. With COVID, with life, every day, it's like something new is coming up. And what I would say is without social media, without this, yes, social media has been a blessing. For some people, it has been a pain. But what I always tell people is this. If you have values and you're married with your values, it will help you get out of trouble. So if I'm making friends on social media, I'm making friends with those that I believe have similar values with me. And so I will marry the person, or be friends with the person that has my values. So what will help your relationship now? What used to help our family members then? Like my mom has been married for about 47, 48 years now. And what helped her was, one, the kind of friends she kept, the fact that she was doing life with my dad. They were friends. They will have their issues, definitely. Couples will have issues. It's like the tongue and the teeth. You quarrel, but you need each other. How you resolve conflict is important. So resolve conflict amicably, knowing that you are not alone in the marriage. So however you resolve your conflicts, ensure that it's a win-win situation, that both parties are happy and they take the decision together. So you disagree, to agree. You agree and you move on. You are going towards the same direction. So in those days, we don't have social media the way we have it now, where everybody's life is out there. We don't have all the kind of arrangement for marriage the way we have it now. So I would say what I know of then, it was easier to manage a lot of things happening without interference, unlike now that everybody's business is everybody's business. But it still depends on your values. So if you choose to say, this is the kind of home I want, and you follow those guidelines to what you want, and you work with it, you won't have drama in your home. I am in this same sport. You are in the same sport. You have a good relationship with your wife. Supportive. She's there for you. Your children, they are growing, watching both of you do life together. My children come to me and say, oh, I'm getting married at this age. And I'm like, yay. They come to me, oh, dating, talking about boys and girls. I'm not shouting at them because with this modern age, I know more. And I know that they need conversation. So I talk to them and we share. Unlike those days when we say, oh, mommy, I see this boy that is fine. And you say, shut up, boy, at this age. So there's that difference. We are more flexible, but at the same time, we are not applying as much wisdom as they used to apply. Before, if it is broken, it's fixed. Now it is for better for stay, for worse for go. It's wrong. So that's why we have the high rate of divorce. So even if it was bad, what I always tell people is the only time you should think of going apart is when there's domestic, abuse. There's physical violence, when you're being beaten. I've seen women that beat men. I've seen it because I coach men. I've seen women beating men. So when there's domestic abuse, run for your life. Because as we'll say it in our tribe, the covenant of marriage, covenant of life is greater than the covenant of marriage. So your life is more important because it's when you are alive that you can be married. So that is very, very key. If domestic abuse is involved, please separate. We're not saying divorce. We're saying separate and get help. Get professional help. Get help until the person is okay. It could be the woman abusing the man. It could be the man abusing the woman physically. So when there's domestic physical abuse and sometimes verbal abuse that can lead to mental health issues, then we ask for a separation, okay? Please do that. But your values are key. And it's for better, for worse. It's not for worse, for go. You stay till the end. It's till death do you part, okay? So that is for us as Christians. But these days, no tolerance level. People have friends that will tell them, hey, this man is not it. Go and look for somebody. There's really no, you see people marrying up to 3, 4, 5 men. So I sometimes talk to women with the junk 4 woman. It was said that she had been with 4 men, no, 5 men. The 6th man she was with was not her husband. But when she met the man, who was the man she met? She met Jesus at the well. She had questions. And by the time they began the conversation, you will know that she had missed conversation. She had conversations. She could ask questions. By the time she asked those questions, and he answered her and everything, this same woman that was hiding to come to the well secretly left that a water jar and everything. I went to the city. She didn't go to call women. It was recorded in the Bible. She went to call men to come and see the man that has told her life. So sometimes we are looking for love in the wrong places. I always tell people, my husband, as crazily as I love him, sometimes I tell him, I say, he's the icing on my cake. You are not my cake. My cake is me and God. Icing will beautify you. Icing will make it beautiful, make it taste yummy. So I'm not saying it to bring him down. No, but I'm just saying he cannot give me what God can give me. He cannot fill me up with what, because some women are so hard to please that even if the man gives everything, I've seen women divorce a man for being too good.
Wow.
We've seen some of them like that. He's too good. So what God can give you, don't put it in a man's hand. A man cannot make you happy. Because if he can make you happy, he can make you sad. Your happiness comes from within. Your joy comes from within. Love yourself. Love God. And then whatever your husband or your spouse add is extra. So it's like excess love. Let's put it that way. God even gives you the excess love. So the man is just adding to it. So it's not. Even in finance, I tell people, I say, God is my source. My husband is helping him. to take care of me. God is the one taking care of me, because God had to teach me, because being a domestic goddess, I have to wait for him to, give me money and call. And it became a case of, oh, he's not my source. I'm looking for, oh, if he does not give me money, I can't survive. If he does not, he said, no, he is the bridegroom, not your husband. We will all be married to him, male and female, everything as a Christian. I am your source. Learn to know that I'm your source. So when I pray for him, God, oh, if you want to bless us, bless both of us. Look at the Proverbs 31 woman. Her husband was known at the city gate because of her industrious attributes. So be a woman that is productive. Be a woman that everybody can say, oh, this woman is something. And your husband trusts you to know that if they give you money, you spend it well and not squander it on Gele and Ashoibi. So you need to be a woman,
Love it.
that he can trust. So that is it.
Love it.
So things have changed, but it has changed, but it's still same value. If you marry your value, our mothers had values. If you work with your values, you have less problem. And then don't put your happiness on the man, on your spouse. Nobody can make you happy. Only God. They will just add to the happiness.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Is there any such thing? Do you think, is there any such thing as marrying the wrong person? Could you have married?
My son asked me that question some days back. Now, is there anything like that? Okay. I don't think the person is wrong, and like I tell people, when you are married, it's not as if God, I don't believe in mistakes in marriage. I don't believe in that. Yes, you might not have the same, how do I say it now? Yes, you definitely don't have the same temperament, you don't have the same background, but are you ready to make it work? Marriage, let me put it this way, it's like a business. And when you are working on a business, you find out that you have people from different backgrounds, and you work towards a goal to say, okay, we have how do you say it now? Something that we're working towards. We're aiming towards profit. You have a contribution to make. I have a contribution to make. So what contribution are we both making? So what people don't do is sitting down. That first sitting down to say, this is what we want to do is not there. And they don't sit down. You don't have a company that you just leave to be on cruise control. Even plane, don't run on cruise control till the end. You will need the pilot and the co-pilot running it. So when you say wrong person, yes, some people are like the devil in their attitude, in the things they do. Everything is wrong with them. But the truth is, if you take that same person and you coach that person and you teach that person, and the person is teachable. One of the coaches said something. I've always said that. I say, if you are not teachable, you can't come to me as for me to coach, because it's not about the money. I've been giving money before. I said I can't, because this kind of person will make you doubt your work as a coach. So when one of the coaches said, yes, you are not coachable, you are not trainable, if you do not have that mindset of learning, you do not have the mindset to change, a progressive mindset, I can't help you. And you don't have a marriage mindset. Marriage mindset is a team mindset, is a mindset where we do marriage together. So if you say this person is a wrong person, no, the person is he doesn't know himself well. So he needs to find purpose, he needs to find himself or herself, and he needs to be coached, he needs to be trainable, so that when you are in that space, you can now make things work. And what is your target? I always tell people, what do you want? I teach on bliss and enjoyment. I want to enjoy my marriage more than I enjoy it. It might not be perfect, but I want to enjoy my marriage. So how do you enjoy your marriage? It's easy. One is knowing yourselves. Know about yours. I'm constantly researching on my husband. It's like a case study. So today you can say, yes, because his habits, today his eating habits can change. Or what he used to like then, there's something he eats now. Even those days he would.
What you're saying is so amazing. What you're saying, I mean, I wish you could, if you could expand on that. Just the role. I know that there's a flip, maybe with women for men too, with their wives. But just that thing about that, you should take time to study your husband. That's a project, right? So do you really know your husband? Do you know how your husband feels today?
Yeah.
He may love something yesterday, but today he's on a whole different mindset. I mean, you're just talking about even food.
Very
So
true.
take time
Yeah.
to just expand on that a bit. So go on.
Okay, let me put it this way. Why I say no? For me, it took me 8 years to know my husband's favorite food.
Wow.
You know why? Because he would tell me, I will ask him, what should I make? He would say, please don't make swallow. We're in Lagos. Don't make, like pounded yam, don't make gari, don't make. So I'm like, he doesn't like, I never asked. Assumption is evil, is bad. Don't assume anything with anybody. So I didn't ask. I just assumed, oh, Tunde does not like swallow. So for 8 years, I would just, it's spaghetti, it's rice, it's something else. And then one day, I can't remember where I went to or what happened, but I was just asking him, tell me your favorite color. I was just asking questions. And I said, your best food. My guy told me, he said it's pounded yam and vegetable and fish. I said, Tunde, you? It was as if I was talking to a stranger. I said, you? He said, yeah. I said, why? But you, every time I ask you, let me prepare something, you say no. He said, because most times I eat it at work.
Wow.
I'm like, for real?
Wow.
For real. So what am I saying? I just assumed. I never asked. So there are things you just assume. Let me give the story of my son. My son recently, we were just talking, we were having a conversation, and he said, Mom, do you know, because by our washing sink, we have this soap. I won't name the name of the soap. You know how you have liquid soap? And then because this liquid is so thick, I will take like another case and I'll mix the main liquid into it and I'll put it there. And so he said for a long time, he thought that was how that soap was, that it was just light. He said he got to know at age 8 that that was not how the soap was. And he was not asking himself, David, what lie have I been living?
Wow.
That I didn't know that soap was mixed, because I would take it and maybe make one into like 3 different bottles. And so it would be liquid. So when he now saw that it was thick, he was not wondering, is this thing good? There's something wrong. So I now said, no, there's nothing wrong. This is the real one. But because it's so thick and so for me, I have to, put it into another bottle and add water to it so that it's easy to use. So he was not asking me, say, Mom, I felt that I was living a lie, that soap thing was a lie. But that got to me. I'm like, hey, he said it to me and we were laughing about it. But same thing in marriage. What lie is your partner living? What lie or what are you assuming about your partner? So people assume that my husband doesn't talk because they feel he's the quiet person. He talks in his head, because most times he will tell me, I know when he's talking in his head, the way he would tap his head and go. He's having a conversation with himself. He might not say it out, but he's talking. So can you find out what your husband, every 3 months, people change. That's the truth. Every 3 months, it's been proven quarterly. So right now in my house, there's something that my husband eats, almost everything. He eats with this shawarma wrap. He's eating almost everything with it. Like a year ago, if you tell my husband to do that, he will say, Tunde eats bread. He can't. But no, that is the love of his life, so to speak. So if I assume that he will eat that, so you need to know this person is changing. And then listen to what he's not saying. Know him, listen to what he or she, husband and wife now, what is she saying? My husband knows what I like. Some things he would do, some things I will have to say, because he will tell me, I'm not in your head. So if you need something, let me know. Sometimes as women, we assume he should know that I like this thing. I brought it today, as in I gave you this water today, and it was fine. Tomorrow you might say, no, I don't want plain water. What I want is mineral water or something, colored water or something. So ask, do you still want this? So keep asking. Know your customer. They ask, even in the back, know your customer. Who is your customer? Your husband is like a client. He's like a customer. Know him. Your wife is same thing. Know her. And then keep knowing and keep asking. So when you know all of that, it will help you. It will help you do this marriage well. It will help you stay married. It will help you, do marriage. Don't assume, because most times we assume what he liked. And another thing, let me warn ladies about this. As you are growing, your husband is growing. The boy you got married to, when I first met my husband, he came to meet me in Benin. He was leaving. He didn't have transport fare to go to Akure. I gave him his transport fare home. Are you getting me? So it would be evil for me to still look at him with that eyes of the young man we served together. He has grown. His taste in life has grown. He's more matured in so many ways. And so when you are even giving him honor at work, he's the boss. And you come home, I'll say, hey, I used to tell him those days, I'll say, when you are entering the office, please drop your coat, you know, by the door, because I'm not your secretary. I'm not your PA. I'm not, you know, so that we will enter into our family mood. So that you don't come in and start directing as if jump and I will jump. I say, no, no, no. Let's drop office at home. And when you come in as my husband, as my friend, so that we can relate better. Because he needs to switch. So it's the same thing with the woman. You need to constantly switch to know that he is not your brother. He is not your child. He's your husband. So don't treat him with disdain. Don't treat him, and because you see him, you've seen his boxers. If there's O in his boxers, you know. If he's not well shaped, you know everything. So sometimes see finish, familiarity breeds contempt. So that's still finish. He's talking. You are saying who is talking? Who is talking? Because please don't get over familiar. Please. This is really good. This is really good. Be friendly, but don't get over familiar. Okay? Respect the man. And you too, a husband, honor your wife. That you know her, she's this, that. Please don't also get over familiar. Just respect, love each other, play, till it's time to tease, but know when to draw the line between over familiarity. So that still finish, you know, will not come in, as they say it in Nigeria. Don't see him finish. Don't see her finish.
Wow, this is so good. This is becoming our longest show ever, and I still have plenty of questions to ask you. Let's go. So you speak to women. You speak to women. No, you speak a lot about coaching men, and I've seen a lot of your programs. And the first time I saw your flyers and things, I did wonder. I said, "Wow, and I think we actually had a chat, and you actually told me that you actually work more with men. So you coach men to be good fathers, and these days we're seeing magazines, articles, social media posts that are written by women giving advice to men. It's becoming a fad, right? Women giving advice to men and also to other women about men. What do you think? What do you think qualifies you as a woman to teach men about manly things? And do you think women should be advising men or advising rather than discussing these issues with men? I'm just asking. What qualifies any woman to talk about men?
Okay, let me put it this way. I got this vision to talk to men over, should be close to 20 years now. I'm sure I put it because I have notes that I put down things, and I had this impression. You know, then TD Jakes, he was doing a woman that out loose. And then, and I got it like, even men are in bondage as well. You know, so when why men slept? Why men slept? The devil came to sow tears. Why Adam was looking away, Eve got, the serpent. So I was like, man. And interestingly, growing up, I used to be in the company of guys, and I didn't know that. I just was this tomboy. I didn't care about anything. I would just be with them. I'm non-judgmental. I used to buy newspaper on sports. I will read. I have a team. My husband is not even interested in football. I used to have a team. Now I'm teamless. I used to have a team. And so I will follow all sorts. And when we're talking, I'm arguing. I have 2 boys after me. They are married men now with 4 children each. And so I used to play with them because I'm their sister and they were looking up to me. So I would run, I would climb, do all sort of things. And so that was it. But growing up then, my parents used to be like, you're always with boys. I will get beaten. I didn't know Jack. I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. And it was just like, in quotes, you were spoiled. I was not. It was just that. Those were the people I was attracted to then, in the sense that they were not judgmental. Till now, I still have more male friends than female friends. If you're my friend and you are female, meaning you are not spiteful, you are not into feminine drama, getting emotional and reading minutes. So for me, with the guys, it was just easy. So that was how I became friends with guys. So when this vision came, it was like, oh, help fathers. My dad is very, very involved. Till today, he still calls me his pathfinder, and he says so many sweet things about me. First of 8 children. So along the line, I don't know how it came, but it came, and I went to God to like, what is this? Why fathers? And he started telling me that when it comes to his calling, he imputes, there are people that he sets up for certain things to do. And he started giving me women in the Bible that have done things. As a person in the fivefold office, I'm a prophetess by calling. So I see myself as a Deborah, judging, Judges 4. Being a judge and helping men to take their place, and help women to also take their place and fight against the common enemy. So that is my assignment. So when it comes to men and fatherhood, because my dad was involved in my life and still involved, it made me bold. It made me better in so many ways. I could talk with him. Until today, my mom will always say I'm partial towards my dad. I see nothing wrong with him, because I grew up with a man that if my dad is coming home, he's coming home with a snack, he's coming home with things. I can talk to till today. We can still sit down and have a conversation. So why am I saying that? I saw fatherhood. Yes, he had his mean part. Let me not come here and paint him. When you say somebody has been beaten in this life, I'm one person that has been beaten, by my dad then, because they just felt this girl, this one, that was that. But what am I saying? Seeing what my dad did with us, all of us, especially me, I had to tell myself, you know what? I want men to have this kind of relationship, memorable relationship. So I teach men how to master fatherhood, how to make fatherhood memorable for themselves and for their children. And how do I do this? It's just being there, being involved, being present in their life, knowing that your child is different. Every child is different. Being available to them, being available, to them, so that they can live their lives, well, knowing that they are there, being their cheerleader. It's been proven, researchers have shown that when fathers are involved in the lives of their children, they do better in school. Those vices, those delinquent vices and everything that they get involved in, it's less when the fathers are involved and fully involved, not judgmental fathers. And when fathers learn to be with them, the children thrive more. So I tell men, even if you don't want to be with their mother, because truly, as a man, you can be a better father than a better husband. I've seen men that are better fathers than they are better husbands. So it's not a crime. Be good in that aspect and make a difference every day in the life of your children. Master fatherhood. Learn who this child is. Know how you can support the child. Know how you can sustain the child. Because what you do for that child is, one, the child is answering your name. So you give that child an identity. So that identity is what will make the person know, I know who I am. Even Jesus was affirmed. You affirmed the child. Jesus was affirmed by the Father. A voice came out. You understand? As it was heard, this is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. And then another voice, hear ye him. So he validated him, gave him an identity. This is my son, and was there. So at the end of the day, the fathers, yes, you can be a better father, but not a good husband. Exactly. So at the end of the day, I teach these men how to learn, to be there in the lives of their children. And once they are there, you will see the children growing up to be better. When we talk about area father, area mothers, and all those sorts, it's because the parents were not there to mentor, to coach, and to train them. When you are there, you will see the difference in your children. Sometimes people are saying, oh, your children are this and that. I said, it's work. It's hard work. So you must learn to put in the work. And when you do it together, my husband does not delegate his duties as a father. If we are taking the children to school, sometimes he will cut short a business trip just to make sure that he's there. Sometimes he will tell the children, you can't go on this day. I'll be back today. Tomorrow we will go. And you will see him doing things for them. So sometimes he will even sit. He knows their love language. He will sit with them. I have a daughter. You can't watch a movie with that girl, because she will rewind as if she's the producer. She will rewind. She will go back. And I'm like, I can't. It's torture. My husband will sit with her hours watching a movie. So you have to be fully present in the life of your children. It's not about your wife. And men that will say every little thing, go to your mom. I tell them, I say, you've just given your rights to your future to your wife. Because when they keep complaining later, oh, is your mother you want to take care of? Because she was the one there for them. She was the one that was there. Right now, my children will tell me to my face, sometimes they prefer dad. I say, prefer him. You understand? Because he's the calm one. He will listen to them. I don't have so much patience, but I'm learning. But then he's the one that can sit down and be tortured, watch movies for 4 hours, and you are rewinding a movie of 2 hours and 4 hours. You are still there because he wants to be in our world. So it's deliberate.
Wow. There's so much. We definitely have to do this again. We have to do this again. I don't even know. There's so much flowing through my head. Let's look at this. There's this theory that we really go into this. So I like all them conspiracy theories. So there's this theory that Adam was in great fellowship with God, right? Before Eve showed up. When Eve showed up in Adam's life, it definitely affected his fellowship with God, and through a moment of weakness, right? And it's as a result of him taking instruction from the woman. And when you look at our churches today, this is all just me trying to push conspiracy theory. When you look at our churches today, and even when I look at even my coaching clients, and I'm sure you would have experienced this, we tend to have more women involved in our church systems. There are more women that are interested in wanting to grow, develop their mindsets and things like that. Do you think there is a major issue of men no longer in that place of building fellowship with God? And could this be a woman problem? Could this be something that women have done that is sending men away from from fellowship with God or coming to that position?
At all. They say ego. Ego is edging God out.
Wow.
Men have ego. And they edge God out by not staying in fellowship. If you want to know a man that is truly, truly a man, is you finding God. And most people say, oh, how do I find him? Because when you talk about Adam in fellowship, Adam is man. Man was made male and female. So man, the male expression of man is man, Coach Aaron. The feminine expression of man is Bridget. Bridget. You understand? So man is man. So I always tell women, man is, I am man, but I am man female. He is man, but he is man male. And so we were all in fellowship. That man male left fellowship was his decision. Somebody said recently, even my husband, I think my husband said that, and said, what if he had not eaten the apple? I think it was my son asking this question. What if he had not eaten the apple? He said it was his decision to eat because he wanted to protect his wife. That was the explanation my husband gave my son. It was his decision. If he had not eaten it, maybe he would have suffered alone. Nobody knows what would have happened. But he took on the responsibility of protecting and saying, this is, yes, he told God, the woman you gave me. All assumptions. But why am I saying this? When it comes to God's plan, if there's one thing I know for sure, it's easy to work with the woman. Because I said something about the woman being helper. Helper is the same word used for the Holy Spirit, Ezra. And if you check, I think it's John 15, verse 26, that talks about the Holy Spirit. The Amplified Version talks about the Holy Spirit, and I will send another helper. That is a comforter. There is a strengthener, there is a standby, there is an intercessor, there's an advocate. So when I talk to women, I said, you have the similitude or the likeness of the Holy Spirit. So God can use you. When Jesus rose, he showed himself first to a woman. So there's the work of the woman. When he needed to come as man, he came as the woman. So when people quote some things, I say, you don't even know about God. If you know God, when he talks about a part of him, there's a feminine part of him. That's why it can be the breasted one. That's why, because when you talk about, can a mother forget a suckling child? It's a quote in the Bible. But I, God, will not forget. Even if a mother can forget. If a mother cannot forget the suckling child, I, God, will not forget. He's likening who he is to a woman. So God, you know, is neither male nor female. But at the end of the day, there's the essence of God in all of us. So that we are female and male is nothing. But why do men do this? It's because of that ego. edging God out. Women are easy to believe because once a man is spiritual, he's totally spiritual. I tell people, once a man gets it, he gets it totally. Sometimes I tell people, I say, I'm sleeping. Oh, my husband is praying because I know he's praying. Are you getting me? I'm sleeping. Yeah. He's praying because he's spiritual. And so when I don't think, and I always tell women, this don't overdo things and think you are the spiritual one. Because I pray, I'm a prayer. So when you tell me to pray, I'm praying for missionaries, I'm doing this. My husband can pray short prayers and there's answers. He's not in your long prayers. God is not deaf now.
Wow.
So don't assume you know too much. You know, iron sharpeneth iron. If the man does not know, have your family altar or have a place where you pray and let him lead. Don't just say, time to pray. You get up and start praying. When it's time to pray, I keep quiet. And my husband say, you can pray. And I say, okay. And in my house, we take turns. So we read the Bible. We must read a book of Proverbs every day. We read that book of Proverbs every day. It's in my house. My children today, it will be somebody's turn. They will read, explain. Tomorrow is another person's turn. They will read, explain. And then they'll keep, thank you. 1526. That's it. That's what I tell women. You need to understand the work of the Holy Spirit, okay? And know in relation to you being an helper. Okay, so when you understand the work of a woman, you will know that there's no basis for comparison and competition. The man is a priest and a king. You are the priest and the king. Be the priest. Find your God. And when you find God, it's easy to make the home better because we are working on the same template. We are working on the same level. But when it's the woman that knows God, there's so much struggle. If the man knows God and the woman does not, it's even easier to pull the woman because women, they have this soft mind. I don't know how it is, except the woman is truly, truly sold out. Like, how will I say, the Jezebel? If she's not hard-hearted, you won't have drama with a woman because our hearts are open, very open. So the men, guys, if you find God, that will be the best thing because with the question you asked now, it's not about, it's just that ego thing. It's ego that they don't want to go to coaching. They don't want to go, you know? So it's just ego. When you see a man that is following, you see some guys that will follow you back to back. Coach Aaron, if you put your leg here, I'm putting my leg there. Even their wives will be telling them, this is your Coach Aaron, won't you leave him alone? He said no. If you follow, I'm following. Yeah, man. Yes, because they've seen it. So their hearts, I tell people, I don't call my husband a Christian. I say he has the mind of Christ. Because God, even Christ did not call us Christians. It was people that saw the people behaving like Christ that called them Christians. So you call Christians and they just behave anyhow. So I just said, no. My husband has the mind of Christ. So because he has the mind of Christ, he will do right, he will live right, he will speak right. So I condition and pray him into having the mind of Christ.
Wow. Actually, let me go to something. Because ever since I got into the John Maxwell team and got into this whole coaching and understanding growth, and I've come up with this theory that growth is one of those things that is absolutely essential in keeping a marriage where two individuals understand growth and are actually doing everything to be the best versions of themselves. And now in your own situation, you're privileged in that you are in a marriage where your husband understands growth and you are in growth. And as a coach, I see this a lot with a lot of, I think 80% of my clients are ladies, women, right? And I can see the struggle in their marriages because the women are in growth and the men are not in growth. Right now, I'm an enemy to a lot of my clients' husbands. They are sick and tired of hearing my teachings.
Welcome to my club.
They're sick and tired of hearing my teachings. Can we talk about, as we round up, there's so much we can go again. We're going to have you again. Can we talk about the importance of growth and why the spouses and marriages should be intentional about growing and wanting to be the better versions of themselves than trying to change the other person?
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, I will go biblical a bit, and I'm going to Luke chapter 2, verse 52. The Bible says there that Jesus grew in stature his body. He grew. He grew in wisdom. He grew, in favor with God and with man. And so when people don't want to grow, they're cheating themselves. At age 9, Jesus could question the scholars. He could talk because he was growing. And then when his ministry started, he kept going because you will see him in the temple. You will see him with various people. He was in the company of various people that they called him names. So why am I bringing Jesus into this? Growth is in 4 dimensions. You're growing in stature. We grow. Our hair, everything about us grow. You're growing in wisdom. How do you grow in wisdom? Is by, say, faith comes by hearing the word of God. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is, you can call it applied knowledge. What do you know that you are applying? Wisdom, if you read the book of Proverbs, that's why we read it, for wisdom. You say that wisdom, it's with wisdom you get strategies, with wisdom you get. So how do you get wisdom if you are not growing, if you are not learning, if you are not teachable, you are not trainable, you are not coachable? How do you get wisdom? You understand? And then how do you grow in favor with God and man? With God is fellowship. It's fellowship. And fellowship is reading his word. It's prayer. It's communion. It's talking. You're not reading your Bible. How do you grow? Do you hear his voice? If he's even speaking, how will you hear? Because everything about God is his word. He honors his word even more than his name. And at the name, everything, every knee bows. So what am I saying? You must grow in your relationship with God. So even if you say, I'm not a Christian, hogwash what you are saying. Okay, what do you believe in? You still have to grow. You still have to meditate. You still have to spend time, growing in your faith. Faith in yourself and in whatever you believe in. How do you do that? That is very key. And then in favor with man. Coach Aaron, I say this without any apology. Favor got me here. Favor with man and God. You know so many people. You bring in the best. And for you to say, oh, Bridget, come and do this. You've seen something. So the favor I've gotten with you is because I've been showing up without me knowing you are looking at me. Yep. Without you checking and then checking the things I'm doing. Is she making sense? I do a podcast with my husband and another team. And people listen and they will send message all over the world saying, hey, you blessed us and co. It is hard work to even do that podcast because our life is out there. It's out there doing the complete family podcast show. It's out there. And so I keep telling my husband, are you ready for this? Because I don't want to say I'm ready for everything. But I tell people, I do not have a reputation. The reputation I have is in God. Because even if I will see shame, he's the one that will cover my shame. You understand? Psalm 3 verse 3 is my shield, the glory and the lift up of my head. So I don't have any shame. So if a man does not understand that there is growth in terms of your stature, in terms of your wisdom, in terms of having favor with God and with man, then you will suffer. Women know this and you see them making progress. And then you as a man now come and you become a clog in a wheel of progress. That's why two cannot work together except they be agreed. That's my best definition for marriage. So if we can get these 4 areas worked on and we work on it, we will grow. And so every man, I beg you in the name of God, go and walk, go and grow, go and learn. Those days, my husband used to say, when you say mentor, I say, no, I don't have mentors. Say Jesus Christ. You know that kind of person that Jesus Christ is his mentor.
Wow, you just said that. One of my clients' husband actually said that Jesus is my mentor.
Yeah. It's not as if he doesn't believe in teachers and co, but he just found it very hard. Like, oh, this person, no. Until I deliberately started praying, God, help him to be open to mentors. I didn't force it. I didn't say what. I said, please, God, help this man, because I could see him, so much potential, so much. But how much do I know? And because see finish is there no matter what. You're husband and wife now, we they see each other. So it's a problem. So it won't be as if, it won't just, it's not as if he's not listening, but he's not really listening. So I say, you know what? The heart of the king belongs to God. I started praying deliberately. God, if he's in a book, he will find help. Let him hold the book and read.
Wow.
If he's in a program, let him listen to the program and read. If he's in somebody, bring the right people his way. God, I started praying. And then I met this couple. Seriously, it was online. I started following them. And a mentor, somebody I follow, The guy is into worship. He's late now. He now set up it was a BBM group there. And I joined the group. And every time they make comments in the group, this lady will come out. Her comment is always so refreshing, so different. And I became her friend. I'm like, ma'am, who are you? And we started talking. And she now said, oh, she's this, that. Oh, they are coming to Nigeria. They are based in the US. This. I said, okay, fine. So with that relationship, I said, fine, you are coming. This is what we do. We're into marriage ministry as well. Fine. And the rest, as they say, is history. But I prayed my husband into having a mentor. And today he has mentors.
Wow.
John Maxwell. I shared this without mincing words. Let me just share this quickly before we wrap this up. Some years back, a mentor of mine, I believe in seed sowing. I tell people that. I believe strongly in that. And so I entered this woman's space and I heard this loud, when you are in tune with God, you will know how he speaks. And I know how God speaks to me. And I heard, give her a certain amount of money. I'm like, for where? Where the money from come? Fighting within myself, by myself. I kept fighting like, no, this voice cannot be real and everything. And he's like, give. So finally, I said, okay. I told her, I said, ma'am, this is what I'm hearing. She said, she kept quiet and then now answered, said, this is what I am doing. This is, I'm in some programs, blah, blah, blah. And this is what I need. And what you said is spot on. I said, okay, fine. So I had to get confirmation from my husband. I told him, I said, I need to send this money to this person now. And he was like, what? So I said, fine, there is this money somewhere. Please give me permission to give because I need to sow that thing now. He was looking at me, said, fine, go ahead. Because we always do that for each other. You will tell me until I'm convinced before you sow. You don't just carry our money and go and sow. So I said, okay. So I sowed. And after that, after sowing the money, I forgot, 2-3 years down the line, my husband caught the bug of coaching. I've been coaching with others, different things. And John Maxwell, I bought his books. I've been following his newsletter, saying one day I will. I didn't have the money. And I didn't know how I would get it. Because being a domestic goddess, my money was like limited. But the guy has the money, but he wasn't interested in coaching or anything. But when he caught the bug, he just said, I'm doing it. He had registered and said everything. He said, I'm doing this spousal one for you. I said, what are you doing for me? He said, I'm going to coach with John Maxwell. I said, really? Hey. I remembered immediately my mind played back to that seed. That when I gave that seed, I paid my school fees up front.
Wow.
I paid it up front. And today, I'm a John Maxwell coach. Why? Because God answered my prayers to say, let this man know that he's a coach himself. Let this man know that his life can teach people. Let this man know. There were prayers I prayed. I didn't give up to say, oh, because Jesus is his mentor, he cannot have real life mentor. And I didn't bug him with these people. I did, because what some women do that's become a problem is you keep like, okay, let's say Coach Aaron. Now say, hey, Coach Aaron. I don't shout about my husband the way I shout about Coach Aaron. He will hate you now. Waiting. He's a human being. Who is this Coach Aaron? Who is this? You will carry him along. And then you say, can you listen? Can you join this? Can you do? And gradually, when he sees that this person has value, he will be told that. That was how I met those people until today. Over 8 years now, they're still our married mentors. Because I didn't force him into it. And so many people that are mentors now, I didn't force him. I prayed him and I showed myself. That's why I say a man that wants friends must show himself friendly. When you over amplify people, you overstate things, and then you disdain your husband, and he will not even want to see the person or even join the person. It's like that. So learn how you package what you want.
We have to stop. This is amazing. We have to do it again. And we have to bring your husband. We definitely have to bring you, and we have to bring Tim Elesin along for this. I'm also having some thoughts in my head. Let me crystallize it properly. Okay. But this is amazing. I want to say a big thank you. This is easily becoming our longest conversation on the Thrivers Group. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on Facebook, and add that spice to your marriage. Good stuff. Bridget, thank you so much. We're having you again. We're definitely
thank you, sir.
Thank you for adding so much fun to our community. And everyone, have a good evening. We'll see you next week with our guest.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye. Yeah. Thank you.